Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to put a video together to show everyone a tutorial of how to use the buttons on the new 2025 4Runners as well as the Tacomas. The reason being is a lot of people have asked questions and a lot of people are confused about all the new technology that's in the 4Runners and Tacomas, and obviously a huge departure from the 5th gen 4Runners. So I just want to show you guys some of the key features and a little bit of like an Easter egg for those of you that have used your Carista app to remove the seatbelt chimes. So right off the bat, just to let you guys know, if you use the Carista app to remove the seatbelt chimes and sometimes you don't put your seatbelt on, you cannot use adaptive cruise control or cruise control on the 6th gen 4Runners. That is a safety feature. So right now I don't have my seatbelt on, for example. I cannot, if I wanted to engage it, it would not allow me to do so. It's going to remain white. The moment I'm driving and I put my seatbelt on and I push the button, it will turn green. So just an FYI, a little bit of an Easter egg for those of you that have used that, or for those of you that love hearing the chime and don't wear your seatbelt when you're driving and are trying to use your adaptive cruise control or cruise control, you will not be able to do so. So just an FYI. So let's begin. There are 3 different profiles you could use on your tachometer or on your gauge cluster. And if you scroll to the right or left, it doesn't matter, you will see that there's a 2, a 3, and a 1. This is the way I've set it up for my liking. On profile 1, I have the turbo on the left and the battery hybrid system on the right. If I go to the second setting or the second profile, I have my tire pressure on the left and the basically the fuel economy or on the right with the total average. Yes, I'm only getting 16.3. I've been driving in the city. It's got basically 35 series tires on it, and it's a Pro. And yeah, I got a heavy foot. And the third profile I set it up to have drive info on the left side and the trip for trip A on the right. In the middle, it's adaptive cruise control. All of this is super customizable, however you guys want to do it. And the easiest way to do it is, let's say, for example, I want to change the turbo cluster to something else. Well, I would just press this middle OK button, press it, and right now it's blank because that's why I like it. If you push down or up on the OK button, you will see settings, message, blank, drive support, and then back to settings, right? So if you scroll to the left, you will see that just moved over to the left. And now it says turbo gauge. If you want, you can scroll down or up. Oh, sorry, it got out of it if you don't do it quickly. Scroll up or down, now it's blank. Fuel economy, driving support, navigation, drive info, trip A, tire pressure, traction monitor, pitch and roll, auxiliary gauges, and turbo gauge. Now, yours might look different, and you might be asking why. Well, if you're in this cluster, and you see those 3 lines at the side, if you scroll to the left with your arrow, it gives you what options you want to include. So you will see that fuel economy, driving support, navigation, drive info, those are all checked off. I took off trip B because I put trip B on the right-hand side. So these are, again, as I mentioned, super customizable, and you could add whatever you want or remove whatever you want. So there's an ease of access to what you want to see quickly through all of these buttons. If you want to go back, just press the back button, and boom, you're right back to where you started. If you scroll to the right, then you have electric boost gauge, which is where I have it, blank, fuel economy, navigation, audio. Remember, audio wasn't on the left side, I have it on the right side. Sorry. Drive info, trip A, Trip B. The left side didn't have trip B. Pitch and roll. So you could customize this how the trailer brake, blind spot monitoring for your when you're towing something. So you could change this however you guys see fit, right? So again, I'll leave it to the electric boost gauge where I had it. And now in the middle, you see that it says settings. Well, I can go back by scrolling up or down and going back to the blank screen like I had it. Or if you want the gear module to always show settings, just press select, press OK. And then it goes into all of your lane departure assist, blind spot monitoring, pre-collision, safety stuff, all your PDA stuff, blah, 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 all the nanny stuff. So if you go to settings and you leave it there and you just wait, I'm not touching anything, and you wait for a few seconds, it basically locks you out. So now it's always going to show settings. So if I go to profile 2, it had settings already there. Profile 3, adaptive cruise, and I go back to 1, boom, now it shows settings. I don't like settings, right? So I would hold, go to blank again, and then just press exit, and then that's it. Goes back to exactly how I customized it originally. Super easy, super intuitive once you figure it out. Yes, it's super confusing at first and daunting, but once you start playing with it, you'll see that it's pretty easy to customize it the way you see it and the way you want it. So when you are toggling through things, you know exactly where everything is. So that's the way I have it set it up. I'm never going to probably tow with this truck, so I don't need any of that trailer stuff, so I might just remove that completely. Now, if you do tow a lot, for example, this like profile number 2 could be just trailer stuff, right? So anytime you're towing something, it could just be all your tow stuff, you know, your engine temperature or, you know, your blind spot monitoring for you when you're towing, things like that. So it's really, really intuitive once you get the hang of it, and it's actually pretty cool. So let's go back into settings. So I'm going to hold it down, hit the OK button down, go to settings, click OK, and now lane departure, all that stuff is on. I turned off lane departure because I hate it when the car fights me on lane changes, because sometimes I'll change lanes without putting my turn signal on and it's fighting me, and I'm like, just stop, dude. So all this stuff is pretty much on. I've adjusted some things to make sure that it's to my liking. So again, all of this stuff is customizable. Here's something really cool: meter settings, language, units. If you go to meter type, you could change the way your gauge cluster looks. Right now, and from the factory, it was 2 gauge clusters, right? Your tach, your speedometer. You could go to 1, and it converts everything just to 1 with your speedometer right in the middle, and then you got your tach, and then everything changes here. Or you could go to nothing and just have it as a blank screen. So if I exit out of this, you'll see what I'm talking about. Do you see what I'm saying? It looks like that. So it could look a little bit more simplistic. So if I go back to meter settings, oops, sorry. I want to go back to my original dual gauges. Okay, press select, you're good, done. Go back and go to meter style. Now you have different ways that this could look. It could look casual, right? It could look smart. This looks like more of like a Mercedes, or this looks definitely Mercedes to me. So it's very, you know, I would say luxury. So if you have like a platinum or a high trim level, this is probably, you know, something that might go with it. I have a TRD Pro, so it automatically came with the tough version, right? The rugged look. You're going to see a lot of this in the Tacomas and you know, basically in the 4Runners. And then you have a sporty look, more like a Porsche Mustang type of deal here. I like the tough look, so I just left it there. I actually kind of also like the smart look. I like the simplicity of this and how the gauges move, you know, the gauges are illuminated and all that. So again, another feature that's pretty cool that Toyota did for all our cars. And you could, again, customize this to your liking. So again, pretty cool, right? So let's exit out of it. So I wanted to show you all that stuff. Then you have fuel economy settings. You could change it to trip average or total average. You know, there's things like drive info items. What do you want to show? Do you want to show distance, average speed? All that kind of stuff is pretty cool. Trip A, trip B items, you know, it's distance, total time. So there's a lot of cool things, pop-up displays, you know, what do you want turned on? What do you want turned off in your gauge cluster when something's happening over here? So there's a lot of cool things that you can do with this stuff. It's super, super customizable. Let me go back to blank. And there you have it. So that's set. So you'll see at the top too, whenever you have certain things on, they'll pop up. And unfortunately, on the 4Runners and Tacomas, the adaptive cruise control or cruise control will always stay on your cluster. These do not turn off. If somebody knows how to turn them off, I'm all ears. But it's always going to be white when it's inactive, and when it becomes active, it turns green, just like those other lights at the top. So there you have it. That's just a quick tutorial of how to leverage all of these buttons. This side, again, it's adaptive cruise control. The way you would set it is you would turn it on by hitting the top button, right? And then to activate it, you hit this. So it's a kind of a two-step process. And then you adjust your acceleration, deceleration, and then cancel cruise control. Volume buttons for, changing your, you know, a track or something on your, with your audio, and then your volumes on this side. So that's kind of how it all works. Here, you know, you have your off button for your AC, your modes, air circulation, you know, how to turn on your AC, AC on, AC off, that kind of stuff. This is kind of cool. This feature, when it's illuminated, only blows cold air or hot air, you know, utilizing your air vents only in the front. It cancels the rear, and you'll see, and let me see if I could focus. I don't know if I could focus, guys, but there's a big X right here in front of the rear passenger. So you turn it off, and then everybody in the rear also gets AC. If you click this on, it's only for the front passengers, and that kind of helps with fuel economy and just kind of like not overworking the AC if there's nobody sitting in the back or in the cargo area. So that's kind of like a cool little feature. Obviously, heating and cooling seats on both sides on the TRD Pros. Heated steering wheel, you know, and then all of this stuff, you know, deserves its own video when you're talking about MTS or crawl control, drive modes, all that kind of stuff, four-wheel, trailer, front and rear cameras and 360 cameras, locking differential, and your, you know, basically stabilizer bar being disconnect. So there you have it. Hope this helps for those of you that are a little confused or overwhelmed by all of the different things that happen in the gauge cluster. You play with it for like about 10 minutes. It actually becomes very, very intuitive. So thanks again for subscribing to the channel, guys. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, or if you guys have any other questions, and I'm more than happy to answer. Hit those like buttons and appreciate the support. Till next time.